Welcome to Larry's Library. Now, this is a sequel to my first shelf shifting video you might have seen. And here we're going to see what happened to that stack of price guides I had to put on the floor to make that last shelf shifting thing work. Well, what I did was I built a new shelf. I have some notes. So I started out where, I took some measurements and I figured out I can put a new shelf, actually two, underneath these modules. I don't really know what you want to call these, tables maybe, but they're modules I built to hold originally to hold my short comic boxes. Now I've since built bins to put my single issues in, so I don't have the short boxes anymore, but in their place I have these bins, and they sit on top of these tables. I don't know what you want to call them, but I have, let's see, 8 of these modules to hold it all. And the bottom part I've just mainly been using for storage and to house my unread omnis primarily. But I mean, I have a lot of unread omnis, but not that many, so it didn't cover all 8 of them. The 2 on the end here behind me did not have any of those in there. They're just wide open, and I've been using them just to store empty comic boxes mostly. So I figured out that I could put 2 shelves in there and size them to fit my price guides because I have so many, and I'm still planning on getting a few more probably before I stop. Seemed like it would work out. So I took some measurements and I bought a little bit of lumber. I bought, I bought one by 8 by 8 and one by 8 by 6 foot. And this is just plain old pine boards. I also picked up a 1 by 3 by 6. All just plain pine boards. Not really furniture grade, just plain, So I measured again. What the old adage was, what was it? Measure twice, cut once. So yeah, that's what I did. Cut all the lumber up and I painted it, and I just used some leftover paint we had from some other project. I didn't want to spend a great deal of money on this. I spend enough on everything else and all the books, so I have to do some things as inexpensively as possible. So I used some existing paint we had. It's sort of a pale grayish, a little bit of a blue tinge to it. And so that's what I painted it out with. Let that dry overnight, because, if you're going to paint a bookshelf, you want to make sure it's dry before you place your books on it. Ask me how I know that. Because, if they're the slightest bit damp, and it may be dry to the touch, but damp underneath, and you put a heavy book on there, guess what happens? Yeah, the paint gets on your book, so you don't want to do that. So I let it dry overnight. And then I just went to installing it. I did pilot holes with my driver, and so as not to split the wood up too badly, and screwed it all in place. As you can see, I've got a little bit of footage, and I've got some stills all run as I'm talking about it. And it was nothing crazy, nothing fancy, but very functional, and it worked perfect. I'm really happy with that. Took me a while to move all the books back in place. I had them stacked on some empty comic boxes. So I got my producer wife to help me, and we kind of slid them across the floor and pushed them as close to that area as we could, so I wouldn't have to keep walking back and forth, and getting up and down. Getting up and down off the floor is not easy when you're an old guy, Not easy. So I try to get everything right there, where I can get this done. And it worked out pretty good. Now, I am thinking that I thought about doing this deal, this retrofit, so to speak, of shoving more shelves underneath these things to all 8 of them. And I still may do that. But got to measuring and looking, and the sad part is there's not quite enough clearance in there to fit 2 levels of omnibuses. One level is very doable. But then if I wanted to put a secondary shelf above it, it would have to be too short for an omni. Now, I could use it for other things, so I don't know. I'm undecided how I'm going to go from there. But this worked out nicely. I even have room for expansion, as you can see. I've got enough room to fill out some more. And, I'll probably still pick up some old ones when I can get them cheap. To fill the holes of the ones I'm missing. But I don't think... I may actually stop buying the new ones now. I may get one every now and again, but not every year. So I was buying these every year for a long time. I have a tour video of my price guides. If you guys are interested and you want to see that, I'll link it up here. But yeah, I was buying the Hero Edition specifically, the Hero Initiative. I wanted those. I wanted to support that. I think it's a great cause, and I'll link that below too. But I seen a live stream a month or two ago, and J.C. Vaughn was on there, one of the guys that put these, that co-write and co-produce the guides, whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure what his position is, but he was on there, and I asked him directly in the chat there, what the Hero Initiative cover was going to be this year. And he told me they ended their relationship. Now, he didn't say why, but they're not doing them anymore. So, it sucks. But, you know what? It might be a great jumping off point for me. I may not buy anymore. Because, I mean, the guide is kind of a traditional thing, but it's, it's not that valuable as it once was as far as setting prices. I mean, I don't sell comics much anyway, so I mainly got it as a reference, just to flip through. I like looking at all the ads, and, it's a good historical reference, especially when you have more than one of them. You can compare and contrast. So, yeah, this might be my jumping off point. I'll probably stop buying them every year unless they get back to doing the hero covers. I don't know. I really hated to see that relationship end, but it did, and I'm not sure why. But anyway, I hope you like taking a look at these and seeing me go at it again with these shelves. Tell me what you think. Did you like this project and how it ended, how it turned out? What would you do different? And have you ever built your own shelves? If you have, tell me about it in the comments. And hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm going to catch you next time.